The AI divide. Wealth, power, and the future economy. The gold rush. The shovel sellers. In 1849, thousands of people rushed to California to find gold. Most of them went home poor. Do you know who became rich? The people selling the shovels, the tents, the food, the tools, the infrastructure. Welcome to the wealth gap. We are living through a new gold rush. But this time, the gold is not metal. It is intelligence. Artificial intelligence. And just like in the original gold rush, the biggest, safest profits are not made by the dreamers. They are made by the suppliers, the companies that build the chips, the servers, the data centers, the cables, the cooling systems. Every AI company needs the same physical foundation. It does not matter who wins the model race. It does not matter which chatbot you use. They all must pass through the same hardware bottleneck. This is the first rule of the AI economy. Infrastructure eats the profit. The shovel sellers always win first. The furnace. The profit lie. Now comes the uncomfortable question. Do these AI companies actually make money? The honest answer is, not really. Many of the most famous AI companies are burning enormous amounts of cash. Billions. Every year. You may be paying $20 a month. But behind the screen, every single answer you receive is powered by expensive chips, expensive data centers, expensive cooling systems, and enormous electricity bills. These systems do not run in the cloud. They run in physical buildings, with physical machines, consuming physical power. So how can a company lose money while millions of people are paying subscriptions? Because the cost of intelligence is still higher than the price of access. For every dollar earned, more than $1 is spent. Compute, energy, cooling, hardware depreciation, security, redundancy. The furnace behind AI never sleeps. So why do investors keep funding this? Why do they accept losses year after year? Because they are not buying today's profits. They are buying tomorrow's monopoly. They are betting on a winner-take-most future. A future where one or two companies become something far larger than a product. They become infrastructure, the operating layer of the digital world, the interface between humans and everything else. When investors imagine that future, losing billions today feels acceptable. Because the real prize is control, not revenue. The machine economy, agents, crypto, and invisible trade. Now something even stranger is forming underneath the surface. A new economy. An economy where humans are no longer the main participants. You asked about cryptocurrency. This is where it fits. We are entering what some researchers call agentic commerce. Imagine you ask your AI assistant to plan a trip. It finds a flight. It finds a hotel. It negotiates late checkout. It buys insurance. It books transport. But on the other side of every service, there is also an AI, a pricing agent, a reservation agent, a resource allocation agent, machines negotiating with machines, at machine speed. Your assistant does not ask for your credit card every time. That would be slow. Instead, it can hold digital money directly. Stable tokens, automated payment systems, smart contracts. One machine pays another machine. Instantly. No human approval. No banking hours. No delays. In the future, millions of machines will buy data from other machines, rent storage from other machines, pay for computing power from other machines, trade bandwidth, trade access, trade priority. Humans will still own the money, but we will no longer operate the transactions. We will only set limits, budgets, rules, preferences. The real economy will increasingly run silently between non-human actors. And this matters, because when machines trade with machines, human labor is no longer part of the transaction. The job market. The great displacement. But what about us? What about the people who still need to pay rent? Economists now speak about something called the adaptive capacity gap. The distance between how fast technology changes and how fast workers can adapt. Some roles remain safer. Jobs built on physical presence, emotional care, human trust. A nurse is not replaced by an algorithm. A therapist is not replaced by pattern recognition. A kindergarten teacher is not replaced by automation. But many other jobs live in a very different world. If your work is mostly processing information, writing, analyzing, summarizing, checking, translating, coding routine logic, you are standing directly in the blast zone. Not because AI replaces you, but because one human using AI replaces many humans who are not. This is the key difference. It is not automation. It is amplification. The rise of the centaur worker. Half human, half machine. One senior professional with strong tools can now do the output of an entire small team. Great for productivity. Great for companies. Great for shareholders. But devastating for entry-level workers. Because junior jobs are not only labor, they are training systems. When the junior layer disappears, the future senior layer disappears with it. This is how inequality quietly grows. Not by firing people, but by never hiring them. The new corporate shape. AI is also changing what companies themselves look like. Startups no longer need large departments. Marketing can be automated. Customer support can be automated. Design can be automated. Analysis can be automated. Operations can be coordinated by agents. A small founding team, supported by powerful AI systems, can now compete with organizations that once required hundreds of employees. This creates a new type of company. Lean, extremely productive, extremely scalable, and extremely concentrated. The value no longer flows through many salaries. It flows through ownership, through equity, through control of software systems. The company becomes thinner, but richer. The real wealth gap. Capital versus labor. This leads us to the most dangerous graph in modern economics. For more than a century, labor was the main engine of prosperity, education, skills, professional growth, career progression. Work harder, move up, earn more. But AI breaks this relationship. Because machines scale, humans do not. If I own an AI system that replaces the output of 1,000 professionals, I keep the profit. All of it. The 1,000 professionals keep nothing. Not because they failed, but because ownership beats effort. In the AI economy, Capital dominates labor. Who owns the machine matters more than who operates it. Who controls the data matters more than who understands it. Who owns the infrastructure matters more than who uses it. This is the structural reason the wealth gap grows. Not because people stop working, but because work itself becomes less valuable than ownership of automated capability. Why universal basic income is even discussed. This is why serious policymakers and technology leaders are discussing universal basic income, not as charity, as economic stabilization. If machines perform a growing share of productive work, human income must come from somewhere else. Because machines do not consume. They do not buy food. They do not rent apartments. They do not raise children. They do not travel. They do not vote. An economy where production is automated, but consumption remains human, requires income to be redistributed, not to be kind, but to keep markets alive. Without purchasing power, even the most productive AI economy collapses under its own efficiency. The geography of the gap. Who gets left out first? Now add one more layer. Geography. AI infrastructure is concentrated. Data centers, cloud providers, chip supply chains, advanced research. They cluster in a small number of countries, a small number of cities, a small number of corporations. This means the wealth created by AI does not spread evenly. Not between people, and not between nations. Countries that own compute capacity will sell intelligence. Countries that do not will buy it. This creates a new dependency. Not on oil, not on minerals, but on access to thinking power. The wealth gap is not only personal, it is planetary. The psychology of losing the race. There is also a quiet emotional cost when people realize that effort no longer guarantees progress. Motivation changes. If a machine can outperform you instantly, learning feels fragile. Careers feel temporary. Stability disappears. Not because work is gone, but because certainty is gone. The social contract that promised, study, work hard, and you will be rewarded, is slowly dissolving. And when societies lose that promise, politics becomes unstable. Trust collapses. Extremes grow. The wealth gap is not only an economic issue, it is a psychological one. Conclusion. The economy is no longer shaped by one question. Who works the hardest? It is being reshaped by a different one. Who owns the smartest machines? We are living through a new gold rush. But history already taught us something important. Most gold miners went broke. The quiet winners were not the dreamers. They were the infrastructure builders, the shovel sellers. So here is the real question for you. Are you competing with machines? Are you racing them? Or are you slowly learning how to position yourself closer to ownership, closer to orchestration, closer to the tools that shape value? Because in the AI economy, that distance may decide everything. In the next episode, we turn away from wealth and look at those who are falling behind as we explore the left behind in the global south.